Hello and welcome back to Blood Rush League Season 4, lower bracket, round 6 here with Archon versus 0Practice. First up, we have our first set of Archon's pick on Blight in Freddy Fazbear's Pizza. We have Manu here on the Blight against Cherchik, Yumiko, Goodkan, and Aklai on playing for 0Practice Survivors. And we have a very fast first chase here on Treytrick on Claude, and we get the tag as we get the revolt on the pallet. Very good stuff here from our killer. And Manu here deciding not to commit to the chase, going towards that middle area of the map, trying to get some pressure on the other survivors, not wanting them to be able to do these important chants like mid. We catch two survivors. Yumiko drops down. Manu follows, swings, and somehow does not connect. That was crazy. I thought Yumiko was like getting hit there, but apparently not. Thank you, behavior. Yumiko faking the drop, then going for the drop. We have Bloodlust 1 here on Blight. Very good hit here onto Yumiko. And we're off, rushing right after our survivor. They drop the pallet. Will we get the hit? Rushes come out, and unfortunately the rock was slightly too wide, so we hit fatigue instead, making sure to save a bit of the last rush charge here. So we have it up slightly quicker. So Yumiko is unable to make it to a safer Dialect Shack. Will we catch? We're gonna opt to break the pallet, and this allows Yumiko to make Shack. This is a very good chase here from Yumiko. Shack is such a good resource to extend this very, very crucial early chase here. Not exactly the first chase, that was on Trick, but first down hasn't happened yet. This is so important to delay the first down as much as possible so the survivors get as much pressure as possible. We have a gen pop in main. We have Good Con here working a gen as well, looking to be about 90%. I think it's the gen here by Shaq, and we get a hook here mid-map. Very good here. We have Ruin, Wretched Fate, Eruption, and Corrupt here with obviously double Blight Speed add-ons. And Ruin and Wretched Fate are going to do work, but maybe not Wretched Fate so much as our Obsession is on the hook, unfortunately. We get a very good swing and a hit there onto Good Khan, and we get the pull. Immediately hit onto the endurance. I think right now Yumiko needs to take the chase away from Shaq. They need to stop that regression on the gen at Shaq that's currently being regressed by Ruin, and we are going to get that down. What an excellent second chase here from Manu. Oh my, Yumiko going to be slugged. We're going to make sure that this gen does not pop, as it was threatening to pop very, very quickly here. However, a thing to note is that there are anti-slug perks allowed on the Blight set, so we have to keep that in mind whenever we do consider slugging a survivor. We're gonna go pressure a bit off of that gen, making sure that Ruin does take it a bit down here, and we're gonna go back and immediately we're gonna break a pallet and immediately pick Yumiko. No, we're gonna opt to slug some more. Okay, I think though at this point they're going to finish the gen if you pick Yumiko. And Yumiko's gonna crawl to underneath the pallet. This is a tough call here. Does Manu pick Yumiko? Does Manu pressure the gen? We have a survivor here. We get the tag here on Aksai on Kwan, and they're gonna run towards Shaq here. Now they're injured, which is a very good year for our killer. A very good tag. And this gives enough pressure to get the pick and ideally get the hook here without the Shaq gen. Faster Chris Shaq gen does pop. It was like 90. Two gens pop. Shaq at 11. Holy gen pressure from our survivors on 0Practice. Very well played by them. This is good. We got a survivor on death hook. They got the pull. Will we get like some sort of assistance here, like a for the people? That was a very, very fast pull. Two gens remaining though. So I think getting that fast pull is fair. If Yumiko could have a solid chase here, this is very much gonna be stages for our Blight. So it's all on Yumiko's shoulders at this current state of the game, and also on Manu's. Manu has to get this chase going get this chase going pretty quickly, unless they want to get staged here. Yumiko is not in a safe pallet. This pallet is unbelievably dangerous. Will Yumiko get out? No! And we get the tag, and that will be a tunnel out. Two generators remaining, unless another gen pops as we're carrying the survivor to the hook, but turning this into a 1v3 is pretty good this early. However, once again, it's the Wretched Fate player that's getting tunneled out, which means no Wretched Fate value, but instead we're gonna up the slug. Yumiko did not pick themselves up earlier, so it's safe to assume that they currently do not have any anti-slug available to them. So we do see some survivors trying to pick Yumiko up. They get the pick! Oh my god, they could be This is big. If Yumiko can get to our resource here, this will heavily punish Manu for that slug instead of instantly turning it to a 1v3. Oh my. Can Yumiko do it? Big swing and Yumiko goes down. Generator pops in the background. Manu going to get the tunnel out of one generator remaining instead of two generators. I don't know. That was I understand the vision of the slug there to see if we could catch someone off on a gen, catch someone like force them off a gen, get ruin happening. But that did cost a lot of gen pressure for our survivors and wasted a lot of time because Zarina got the pick. I'm sorry, Claude. I think it was Claude that got the pick. So we are in one generator remaining. The gen spread is like pretty decent. We have a gen. I think that's like middle of main 6 and I think 9. And so like it's a fairly spread gen spread. It's not super tight, but it's not the farthest. It's not it ain't 11 and 7 or sorry, not 11 7, 1 and 7 or 11 and 5. Get a very good tag here. Oh, what a down by Manu. Very well played. Manu's Blight is very scary killer for sure. And we're gonna rush, going to opt the slug here. If we could find, okay, so ideally here, if we find Tree Trick and down them, this could very much snowball. Oh my, just like that. This could very much snowball into a win here with a 4k1 for our Blight. It's just all up to our survivors to try and recover this situation. We do get a vault into this TNL, which means that they did spot the Ruin. They need to probably think about getting Ruin out of the way. Efficacy of Ruin is so insane, considering it's 1v3. I don't think a gen is possible. Like, again, especially on Blight, right? I don't think you could get a gen done with Ruin in play in a 1v3. If you're all injured and the Blight is very good, right? Like, it's very hard. And especially if it turns into a 1v2, what do you do? Very good down here onto Quan in the mid, in main, sorry. We're gonna check the gen mid. We know that they picked, so we know that they're around the 8 area. We see a survivor here. It is Good Con. Will we get our Zarina? Flick and a miss. Very good dodge there by Zarina, making some distance off of that, going into the tile at 6. But right now, right, you once again, Ruin is in play. No one's on gens. All of our gens are regressing to 0. What can you do? We go into a locker and force a pull so that they can't slug. I think, you know what? A very good decision here from our survivor team. This allows Goodcon to safely pick Aksai from mid slash main, and they're able to possibly get a reset. If they're able to get their health states back here, they could tackle the 1v3, maybe get rid of Ruin. We do know where that totem is. Once we get rid of Ruin and if we manage to get rid of Ruin and get reset, oh, it's not, reset's not looking as likely now. Champion of Light coming in with with a big hinder, 20%. Once we get rid of Ruin and we manage to get reset, it becomes a lot more playable for survivors. But currently, it's not looking good as we catch a survivor Oh, what a flick. Manu. Manu. That was crazy. That was such a lovely flick. And that is, not only is that a lovely flick, that is a potential game-winning flick. As now we have outside here on Quan, the only standing survivor, injured. Our slug is underneath the hook. What do you do? Ruin is in play. It's looking very much so like a 4k1 at this point. Oh my god. Honestly, if there is a world, right? There is a world where Good Khan gets the pull there on the trick, and Manu hits the flick onto the person that's being unhooked, and it whiffs, and that like gets them into a position where it's 3 people up. They're recovering with a blight recovery, the fatigue, and this allows both of the survivors to make it somewhere good, someone better. But that is not this world. This is the world where Good Khan gets hit around the corner and down. Ooh, they do get the pick. Very good stealthing by our survivor, but will they get the unhook? Once again, but they do get the unhook this time. Oh my god. I think, not gonna lie, I think committing to Trick here is a very good play, considering that we have Ruin in play. There's no gens with pressure right now, so we have a good portion of time here. Good Gun is on the floor, so Aksai here is forced to probably try and pick our survivor instead of getting on a gen, which buys us even more time. And so we can see here in the background that Good Gun was picked. We know both survivors are like in the 10-11 side of the map. Our gens here are 9, 6, and mid. So we know that they're probably immediately going to hop onto that 9th gen if they're going to try and double a gen off of this chase. And I have to say, as after this chase is over, Ruin does go, but it might be a bit too late. As even without Ruin in a 1v2 with double injured survivors, I'd say it's very hard to get gens done against Blight if you don't already have like a gen like 90%. Is such a good position for Manu to be in. This is, yeah, I mean, this is likely a 4K1. They do get their reset, so they're going to try and I guess get a double reset and play this 1v2 with 2 healthy survivors. It is possible. It's not easy. It's definitely not easy, but it is possible to force an overcommit maybe from Blight and finish a gen or play extremely safe and possibly force a regression limit, but it's unlikely, right? You know, against Blight, they are such a strong killer. Their macro is strong, their chase is strong. What can you do in a 1v2 when the gen spread isn't even like that far apart? It's a decent spread, but it like I said earlier, it ain't 11-7 or sorry 11-5 or 1-7, right? Like we already catch a survivor and we immediately get a tag. This is so good for our killer. Now we're Goodcon back injured again. Like we don't even have to commit this. If we go look at the other gens, find the other gen that they're working on, whether it's mid or six, and then we get the down on that tag on outside. We're playing double injure again. Another option is also we have like 90 seconds at least to commit this chase, get the down. What a flick. Really enjoying seeing Manu's Blight in action. Lovely, lovely power use. Oh, we hear our survivor that was working the mid-gen, and this is looking like our final chase of the trial with a 4K1. Ooh, a bit of a hit swing into the window there. Not quite connecting. We get the the Blight Rush, and the game is over. And with that, that concludes our first game with a 4K1 here for Manu. This puts the win condition of 0Practice's Blight at um this puts a win condition of 4K2 and a tie condition of a 4K1. Oh my. Very good stuff. I don't know. So a 4K2, we've seen that happen on Fazbear's Pizza before. It's not like it's I would say it's a very doable win condition. I wouldn't say it's a walk in the park. I wouldn't say it's guaranteed, but I wouldn't say it's impossible or, you know, either. I think it's actually we're going into this with like I'd say a 50-50 if we're, you know, depending on our previous like blight results. So we're going to go and see how it goes. I'm very excited to see who's going to be playing Blight on 0Practice. I'm very excited to see how they're going to go. And I'm also excited to see Archon's survivors play. It's always a treat seeing our teams play. So we'll get that lobby set up, we'll get it going, and I'll see you guys in a bit. Hello and welcome back to Blood Rush League Lower Bracket Round 6 here, Season 4 with Archon versus 0Practice. This we are on our second game of our first set here with Blight and Freddy Fazbear's Pizza, which was Archon's pick, but now we have 0Practice on the killer with a win condition of 4K2 and a tie condition of 4K1, and we have Yumiko on the Blight against Manu, King Julian, Krex, and Francesco, and we are running Deadlock, Wretched Fate, Eruption, Ruin, and such is the fate of Hexbricks. There goes Ruin at 5 gens before even first chase happens. I love Dead by Daylight Hex RNG sometimes. We do spot cracks here on Lara. First chase, we get a slow vault on the window. I think they're preserving their life. And oh no. We do lose a 50 and we do get tagged. Unfortunate. They do have the pallet. They get it over. They get over the pallet right before Blight arrives, allowing them to go get somewhere hopefully a bit safer. We do have a double pallet here, which is generally a safe pallet, but not so against Blight. Oh, Yumiko going for a big bump there. Do we get the connection here? Ooh, very close, but we get the pallet instead. And I think without that second pallet, this is a lot more dangerous for our survivor. First gen pops in main. The revolt happens due, and we unfortunately have lost that 50. We will see our first hook. Main was likely doubled due to the speed of how fast that finished. Wretched Fate is in play, but once again, I don't know, this seems like the curse of our Wretched Fate is like our survivor, that's obsession, is on the hook. And for our add-ons, ladies and gentlemen, we are just running double Blight Speed, Crow, and Rat. That's the standard. And Deadlock on Blight, by the way, I you don't see that often, but I rate it. I think Deadlock definitely has some value. There is counterplay to it. However, with Ruin, usually the Ruin helps negate that counterplay, which is leaving a gen that's usually out of the killer's way, 99. But with Ruin gone so early, there goes your counterplay to the counterplay. We do have Eruption, and Blight is less susceptible to this, as Blight is able to get around the map well, so they're not punished too as heavily for going off the far part of the map to go and maybe regress a 99 gen. But at the same time, right, that's still wasted time for a killer rather than having Ruin do it automatically. A gen pops in the background, Deadlock blocking our next gen. We're in chase here with Manu. We are at 3 generators remaining without a tunnel out in sight. This is looking good here for our Archon survivors. Definitely see why they picked their pick Blight. Manu here dying in such a strong spot away from all the gens, so Blight is unable to hook them in near any active gens, so that this is pretty much an undefendable hook if you want to actually like get a 4K here. And to win the game, we do need to get a 4K 2, and to tie, we do need to get a 4K 1. We're gonna go and to kick the gen here at 2. And the hook is undefendable. They get the pull there. They're probably going to get the reset. Yumiko isn't going back to Manu here, and we are just going to be looking for our survivors on the gen. I think right now best possible outcome of our current situation is we find cracks. We go very quickly down cracks, hook them inside like our 4 gen or 3 gen or whatever we have. The gen spread is kind of wide. But, get them hooked in your active gens, kind of force the survivors to waste resources unhooking health states or gen prog. And yeah, work towards that. And we do spot cracks. This is very good. And after that, just tunnel cracks out as quickly as possible, get it to a 1v3, and you could probably 3-slug for the win. Cracks here has to play for their life at the 11 area. Once again, our survivors going into such a good spot to take the chase to, away from literally all our generators. This ball pit here in main is diabolical sometimes with some of the RNG you could get on it, with the pallet positioning and the window positioning. And thankfully, there is no pallet this time. And what a flick by Yumiko, but unfortunately, a gen finishes in the background. This puts us at 2 generators remaining, ladies and gentlemen, which is our win condition. If Yumiko wants to take this set for their team, then they can't have another gen finish. We get the hook here. We have a Death Hook survivor on Death Hook, a potential tunnel out here on cracks, but without any leeway on the generators that can be left. And with the gen spread that we have, it's looking rough. We're going to go into basement, looking for a stealthing survivor potentially. I can see the vision. There are definitely some very cheeky plays survivors have done in the past here in Blood Rush League, where they really kind of stealth out in basement, thinking the killer, the killer wanted check here, surely, and then they get and then they get a pull that otherwise they probably couldn't have gotten if they had anywhere else. We do get Francesco on the white here, and we do get the tag, putting an injured survivor, and they do get unhook on cracks. Will cracks get healed before Yumiko can get back? Blight rush to our gens, looking to make sure that they don't finish, trying to get a swing, but not a hit. On Julian here, working the gen at 7. We get the tag. That's 3 injured survivors on the board. And I was gonna say not quite bumping, but I think they meant the fatigue there to kick the generator. And we are going to go and get the reset on cracks. That's big. We also get the reset on Francesco. Oh my, 1 injured survivor left, and it's Julian. Currently, one of the 2 fresh hooks. Not ideal at this stage of the game, I think, to down and chase and to commit time to chase and down. Right now, we really need to get it to a 1v3 if we want to get this win condition. Ooh, Firecracker dropped, but not quite on Francesco. Does not connect. And we do get the down. We do get Eruption. We do spot Manu here working the generator at 2. Gonna get a bump. rush number 2. Will we connect with rush number 3? Not quite. Manu being just slightly out of range. They make it to the pallet, they get the drop, and Yumiko is forced to break, and a Champion of Light blind coming through. Generator pops, and that puts us at our tie condition. So winning the set is currently not possible anymore. And for our killer, we can opt to tie if we manage to get like a force lug going, or just kill all the survivors before our gen pops. Deadlock is informing us of what's the most active gen. We can see it's a gen here at the 10 o'clock. 10 o'clock area. It is looking about 75%. We're going to kick it. We're going to put Eruption. We're going to go and to try and get that Eruption to proc before that gen finishes. It's looking quite difficult here. They really need to find an opening to down and kill cracks. They need to make this into a 1v3. Because I don't think, like, we get the Eruption here. I don't think that it's winnable, like, to tie if you don't turn it into a 1v3 soon. I think slugging is a good play here. However, like I said, anti-slug perks are allowed, so we might see an unbreakable happen. But we'll have to see here what our survivors do. In chase here with Manu, they did get the reset, and now they're back injured. Oh my, this is looking really rough, because now we're so far away from the gen at like at 10. So yeah, we're rushing straight back there. We're worried that it's gonna pop despite the eruption hitting it. Yep, and we could see Francesco immediately here leaving the generator. We're working it. I don't know. This is looking harder, and as we go on and on, this is getting harder and harder and harder for Yumiko to tie this game up. Oh, getting stuck on the getting stuck on the picnic table. No, don't worry, Yumiko. That picnic table, the hitboxes is kind of fucked. Like I swear to God, when this map came out, I was testing stuff here on Unknown. Like the picnic table had like hitbox, like invisible hitboxes that would bounce UVX off. We can see the gen pop in the background, and I think that will be our first set going to Archon. And I think Yumiko is just GG. Pause for a moment. Our survivors probably are at the gate. We do see someone. Yumiko is here. Get the hit on the cracks. Oh, yeah, and we're just gonna open the gate. GG's as Yumiko concedes. 3-stage, 2 fresh result here. Very well played by our Archon survivors. But that was just our first set. We're going to be moving to our second set, which I believe is one of my favorites. We have Unknown. And then on for a tiebreaker, it's going to be Wraith. I am so excited to see these guys play Unknown. It's going to be such a treat, guys. Um, Unknown might be my favorite killer. So very excited to see 0Practice's pick of Unknown. Oh my. So we're gonna get that lobby set up. We're gonna go into our wonderful Unknown in Ormond Lake Mine, and we'll be right back. Hello and welcome back to Blood Rush League Lower Bracket Round 6, Season 4, here with Archon versus 0Practice. We have a 0Practice's pick of Unknown with our lovely Yumiko here on the Unknown for 0Practice. Oh my god, I'm so excited. Unknown is such a lovely killer. I love this killer, guys. It's my favorite killer. Some already some very strong spits here. Fortunately, our survivors were either not in the area or actively dodging. Oh my. We do have very interesting build here. We have Dragon's Grip. You know what? Fair enough. That is spicy. If you have a cheeky little clone near a gen, they touch the gen, you teleport. Fortunately, we don't have a clone yet. We're in the process of deploying one. Um, but we also have Eruption, Turn Back the Clock, and Pain Resonance. Oh me, oh my. But you have a clone near a gen, they touch it, Dragon's Grip, expose teleport, and you could possibly get the down. Oh, that would be lovely. You could spit at the survivor if they go down the stairs there, if you shoot at the top of the stairs. From this side here. Like, ooh, not quite connecting Yumiko. But We're going to commit the chase here. Julian's doing a really good job greeting this before having to drop the pallet. Oh my. Oof. What a down. And right here, we have a very strong pain rest up. We have some eruption. We see our aura. We see red spit red. Unfortunately for our survivor, the aura reading has ended. We have turned back the clock in play, tapping our power here and getting a very quick tag onto Manu for those who have, oh, very good clone, guys. We might have gotten Manu down here. A bit of a two tap there, but I don't, like obviously, like, it's a good clone placement from our killer. I don't think our survivor was aware until they were within that 8-meter radius of the clone where you could see their aura. Ooh, we see Lara running towards Julian's hook, and they do have to pull. Manu gets put on hook. Will we get a spit onto the hook? Connection double weaken, very good here. Putting some more cooldown putting more cooldown reduction onto our clone spawning for more map pressure, more macro. We're gonna interchase here with Julian. Julian staking at the shack. They kind of just have to play their life here. Will they dodge it? They do, and this will allow them to clear, as it only takes 10 seconds to clear a weaken, and it takes about 6.2 seconds to reload that UVX. So if you don't land your shots consecutively and the survivor's constantly clearing, they will clear before you can get a second shot off. Which is part of the reason that feeds into why this killer is considered the harmless. Getting the power to work sometimes can be so finicky, and then it requires you to land 2 consecutive shots, and against good survivors, that can be a very tall order. Julian knows not to hug the corner there, the corner check spot, as Unknown Spit does go through walls. Very good stuff here by Julian. Julian is playing amazing here in this shack. Their second chase lasting quite a while, but will they dodge this? No! And they finally go down. While they were playing around shack, however, the walls make it so that you can't clear UVX because it does require a direct line of sight for 10 seconds. Which means that Yumiko here was able to get multiple spits out, and eventually one of them found its mark, and we do have now a survivor at death. 2 generators remaining as a gen finishes in the background. We have 2 pain rest charges left. Turn back the clock active. We have Dragon's Grip Eruption. What will we do with our perks here? What will we turn back? We're going to be dropping a clone very soon. You can see the bars on the side of our screen showing when a clone is about to come out, when these bars are rapidly moving up to the top. When it hits the top, there comes the clone. When the bar is purple, it's still generating a clone. When it's like yellowish, that's when the clone is ready to deploy, and it's it's in that 3-second like deploy period. And during that period, if you tap your power, it resets the deploy time. Or if you walk into an invalid deploy area, which is generally near hook survivors, in doorways, under pallets, etc. We go hit turn back the clock in main. Very good use of that power right there, without having to commit like going up to the gen itself. We're able to zone our survivors from the hook here. We could see our survivors are trying to get Julian off of the hook. We could see Cracks here attempting to clear their UVX as the portrait has lit up. Oh, very good hit. They get the pull onto Julian, however, as I don't think that body block was going to happen. We're going to get the slug. Will we get... Ooh. We're going to get a TP. Instead of going for Julian, we're going to go and get a really quick vault with Obscure Game Cartridge. Yumiko goes for a cheeky swing, but does not connect. Oh, that was very quick break there as well. We are having Obscure Game Cartridge for 20 seconds after teleporting. We do have increased break and vault speed. Thus, the beamer was not quite able to blind there. We get a pain rest, and we are probably going to look for Julian at this point, who last spotted, so going towards the bottom of the map. Oh my. Obscure Game Cartridge, of course, a very solid add-on here for Unknown. It has a very high uptime with 20-second duration after teleport, activating after you teleport. And it teleport, by default, only has a 25-second cooldown. And so if you choose, you can have it up pretty much 20 seconds out of 25 seconds with only 5 seconds of downtime. That is quite high uptime for, I think it's like 30% increased vault and break speed. Very, very good here for our killer. But obviously, the trade-off is to have it up that often, you're going to need to teleport on cooldown. And sometimes you don't want to teleport to a clone. We get a turn back the clock there on the gen at 1. They do get the pull. And we are going to go try to spit at Manu. Manu does a very good job not taking the spit. Instead, we're going to be taking an M1. Fortunately, for Manu, the clone was not deployed towards like the back, further back up into main. So they were pretty safe from that teleport. However, oh, what a hit. They were forced to go there because if they tried to go towards the pallet, we did have a teleport and that would have resulted in a down either way. We're going to go and put Manu in the hook. However, this is not a pain res as the last pain res is cracks here. We're going to opt to drag towards 9, which is one of the active gens, I believe. 9 and 10. Oh my, we have turned back the clock active. Will we turn back one of our gens? We do spot some scratch marks here. We know that we do spot cracks. What a wonderful spit there, landing a weekend. This is what you want to see. We're going to kick the gen, put Dragon's Grip, put Eruption. Turn back the clock is active. We do have a very strong 3 gen here at 9, 10, and 11. What will we do? We get another kick. We have not spent turn back yet. Quite just yet. We're opting. What a very good hit there through the wall. Not much space for cracks to dodge there once they committed that deep into the silo. And this is a dangerous position as the only person that can safely pull is Julian. Cracks goes to pull, but unfortunately gets punished for that. And we can see a survivor does go down. Will we see a gen finish? Another survivor goes down. Another gen finishes. We know where all our survivors are. We're going to get the pick. And we're going to put Francesco onto Death Hook here. Turn back the clock charge was unused for that previous hook. We're going to get another one here. Though it probably might be unused here as we might opt to hook cracks. No, we opt to teleport. We're going to look possibly for a reset here. We do spot Manu. This is really good. Oh, what a stun by Manu. Not getting caught there was big. Gonna run, get weakened. We know where everyone is as Julian picks Francesco from the hook and they pick Manu. Sorry, cracks up. Manu goes down, unfortunately not having much resources to work with anymore, and we're gonna up the slug, go back to our gens and see what we can do here. We spot 2 survivors walking alongside each other, going from 9 towards 11. UVX not connecting. I don't know. This seems like a good position to be in. I would have I get the vision of why we come back here, right? We're scared that the gen might finish. We don't want that to finish. We have 1 gen remaining. But at the same time, we should kill Manu and get this into a 1v3. And that will make it a lot easier here for Unknown to get stuff done. And as we can see here, Yumiko getting a bit punished here as Francesco managing to pick Manu. This resulting in another chase. We get the quick break here from Obscure Game Cartridge. Manu goes in, manages to dodge despite the very tightly packed corridor. And this is what I mean, right? We didn't pick, we didn't hook, and now we're punished, right? We're still in the 1v4. They picked the Slug Survivor that was on Death Hook. And we have to get something done here. We have 6 stages, 3 fresh on board. We do catch Francesco in a bad position here. And this will be a down, ladies and gentlemen. Will we see Yumiko commit? Yes, we do. And that will be a hook. This puts us in a 1v3 situation, but I think it's a bit, like, you know, the last gen does pop. Will we see a possible 4k0? If we get a... there is a world where we get a spit onto Manu, get a very quick down on Julian, and then we enter Chase of Cracks for, like, a very quick 1v3. But it's going to be tough, right? Our survivors obviously are very competent. They're not going to easily give themselves, let themselves get snowballed that quickly. We're gonna up the slug here. We're gonna go check for the gate. We do see some scratch marks, I think. Ooh, we do. We spot Manu. Will we get a spit onto Manu here? If this spit connects and we find cracks, this could be exactly what I was talking about. Manu manages to clear, but will they make the window? They get the fast fall, but not quite. They pick Julian. We know where both survivors are at this point. And we're gonna opt to pick and sacrifice the survivor. Will we get to the gate in time is the question. The hook, we're gonna teleport. Our survivor, we spot on the gate. Not even a light on yet. Ooh, tried to fake a spit there, but get a swing. Julian did a very good job reading that. And our survivor manages to get that stun, which is very big here. For best result, right now they need to get Cracks out. Cracks needs to escape. If we find Cracks and hook them and just commit and Julian gets out, that will be like 11 stage 4 fresh. Fairly solid result here for Unknown. However, if Cracks escapes, we are still only at 8 stage, which is also a good result, don't get me wrong, but it's far from the 11 stage possibility here. Oof, they open the gate, Cracks is out. Will Julian make it out? I mean, at this point, I think Julian has all the space they need to get out here safely. Kind of walking around looking for Julian. We get the teleport. We see the open gate. Well, maybe Julian's running towards the hatch. That's another possibility, right? And they do get out indeed, bringing us a result of 8 stage 4 fresh as sorry, 3 stage sorry, no, 8 stage 3 fresh as Cracks does get out as a fresh hook. Very, very good stuff here from both our killers and our survivors. The survivors recovering that situation from what looked a very dire situation with 2 slugged survivors, right? And then turned into 1 hook, 1 slug. Very, very good stuff to get that into outs from what looked like a 4K. So we're going to go hop over next to Archon back on the killer. I'm very excited to see Archon's Unknown. We've seen Archon play Unknown before. I think it was Julian, but we're gonna have to see. Very excited to see. I love my Unknown content. I love Unknown games. So we're gonna get that lobby set up, and I'll see you guys in a bit. Hello and welcome back to Blood Rush League Lower Bracket Round 6 Season 4 here with Archon versus 0Practice. Here we have Archon on the Unknown, which is 0Practice's pick with King Julian on Unknown. Very excited to see we have a win condition of 8 stage 4 fresh. Die condition of 8 stage 3 fresh and an optional alternate win condition of 9 stages. So very excited to see. I love Unknown. We have Painrest, Erupt, Corrupt, Wretched Fate. Very, very standard builds here for Unknown. I do rate the Painrest, Erupt, Corrupt, and Unknown. It's very... Oh! Holy head-on. Yumiko trying, I think, for a head-on there. Not quite connecting. Oh, that would have been a lovely spin, but Yumiko was slightly too far down the stairs for that to connect. I was not expecting Dwight jump scare coming out from the locker there. Oh, Yumiko getting a very good dodge. Well played to them. We're going to take the chase towards Shaq here, which is a very strong resource here for our survivors to utilize against Unknown. King Julian going to go fake, going into Shaq, double back outside, but Yumiko obviously holding a very strong Shaq spot there, not getting, not falling for it. And Yumiko makes it all the way around. Will we get the spin? Not quite. Yumiko managing to dodge that, flaring out slightly. Very well played. And our survivors, while this is happening, are very clearly much working gens in the background. So just decided we have to leave that. We're going to make trying a shot through the floor, but unfortunately it was slightly too... I mean, I guess if you're predicting the survivors running towards the stairs, that does hit. But if they're running towards the backside of main, that does not connect. I don't think that connects to the gen either, as it was slightly too far forward. But Julian here, getting a very good spit here onto Tritric, getting that weakened. Will we see a follow-up shot here to take that health state? Readying the spin, not quite connecting. Oh my. A gen pops in the background, 3 gens remaining here. This is looking rough as we got our second injury. 3 gens remaining. Oh, Wretched Fate in play. And we have a lovely spectator bug where we cannot see who is the obsession. I love Dead by Daylight. We can't even see the killer's power or their cooldowns. Such a cool game. Thank you, Behavior. Get the spit, not quite connecting, unfortunately there. And Trichik hits the vault and unfortunately loses a 50. And we will be seeing our first down. 3 generators remaining. Main might finish before we get this Pain Res. Julian needs to run to a Pain Res. Look, there is one at 7. Get to that quickly, Julian, before main finishes. It's gonna be... Will they make it? Yes. Okay, cool. We do it, and we do hear... I think it was Quan in the background. Oxai here on a gen. Getting hit by Pain Res. Ooh. Do we think it's head-on? Ooh, Wretched Fate goes away, so I guess it doesn't matter who the Obsession is now. Oh man, this is looking a bit scary here for Julian. The gen pressure is immaculate from our 0Practice survivors. A very good bounce, but unfortunately for Julian, our survivor Yumiko is just on point with her dodges today. Ooh. Very lovely hit here. But what I'm worried is, right, we did hear Painres hit Generator, but yeah, I was gonna say, that main gen is probably going to finish us. I believe that was the Painres gen. Oh my. We get the connection? Very good spit there. And we do have a survivor going down. We're gonna get the pick. We're gonna get a hook. And we need to get 6 more stages and 2 more fresh hooks to win the game. Or 6 more stages and 1 more fresh hook to tie. With 2 generators remaining, right? It is possible. There's a world where Julian's able to snowball here, but it is going to be a bit hard, as obviously Unknown isn't the strongest killer in Chase. They're not the most lethal. Ooh, getting a tag there in Khan is big. Khan trying to dodge in. We get the spit, bounce it off, not quite connecting as Khan was already out of there. Will we get the M1 though? Swing, not quite. The pallet stun happens. Khan tries a beamer. We get the teleport, but the beamer goes through. No, but it's okay. It didn't matter too much. Oof, unfortunately not quite connecting there into Yumiko. Yumiko playing that god, like, I don't know. I think it's a really strong palette. I'm not sure if it's a god palette, but playing that palette at the stairs extremely well. Ooh, a very good bounce from Julian there, but a good flare out from Good Khan. I want to say Julian has shot some very scary UVXs here with some good bounce logic, but like our survivors are just on point with the dodges right now. You could definitely see why they picked the Unknown. Another bounce there off of the shack roof into the back area of shack, but no connection onto our survivor. Like, oh my god, 1 generator remaining. Everyone is healthy. 2 hook stages on the board, and it's looking scarier and scarier here for our killer. A very good spit here, taking the health state of Quan. Not quite the spit, kind of short there. And we do spot our 2 survivors. This is good. We're chasing 2 survivors. That's 2 people off of gens. Half of the team tied up, being kind of pressured. They did. Oh, they did not split. We are looping with friends at the moment. We are chasing Khan and Trick. Will we get the tag? Is the question. We do, but the gen finishes. So at this point, we need to somehow secure 6 more stages and 1 more fresh hook in order to tie the game, or we need to secure 6 stages and 2 more fresh hooks to win, or secure 7 more stages, which is at this state of the game is looking harder and harder by the moment. So honestly, I think right now this is looking like a set win towards our 0Practice. But it is not over till it's over. And with the gate opening, 3 survivors out, and Yumiko on the hatch. Oh, very good body block. But will Yumiko make it to the gate? I believe the gate at 11 was open. We get the spit. Will we stop them in time? They are holding shift W, full sending it, running through main, dropping the firecracker, not connecting. We load a spit. We get the spit. Will we stop them? We have to land 1 more spit here. Will we see it? The spit goes out. Oh, Yumiko flares back into the lingering hitbox, and we get the down nodders from Julian, and that will mean that we take 2 more stages, giving us a result of 4 stage, 2 fresh, lovely spits at the end there by Julian. Well played, Yumiko, not quite making it out. Tragedy as for Dwight is moried by the Unknown. And that will be our second set, bringing us to a 1-1 here with Archon versus 0Practice. So we are going to go into our Wraith. We're going to see how that goes. And we're going to be right back. Hello and welcome back to Blood Rush League lower bracket round 6 here with Archon versus 0Practice. Here we have our tiebreaker set 3 game 1 with Wraith with 0Practice up first on Killer and Archon on our survivors. We have Yumiko on the Wraith here in Dead Dog Saloon, and I'm very excited to see this in action. Wraith is a very fundamental heavy set, so it really gets to express how strong our Killer and survivors chase and macro fundamentals are. So we're going to go and enter a very quick tag here into Julian, and we're going to go into Chase. We're taking the Chase here out towards 9. And for those of you who are not using the OCE clock, 9 is here by towards like Gallows area, 6 is by Water Tower, and 12 is like top of main. And then 3 is like in the houses across main. Will we? Okay, we're going to go to edge map. Yes, that's the plan. Julian goes down. I believe a triple. Okay, okay. As for our perks, we are running uncloak speed, break speed. We are also running pain rest, erupt, sloppy, very standard, and then another dragon's grip. You know what? I rate the dragon's grip. Yumiko has been running dragon's grip, unknown dragon's grip here. I'm very excited to see if we get some dragon's grip value. Oh, we do see a crouching Dwight. We get the uncloak right on their back. Will we get the tag? Oh, very good fake there by Yumiko. Such clean movement. We get the recloak tag on Francesco here, putting them into mangled and hemorrhage, making it so that if they reset in the next 90 seconds, it will take quite a while. And if they get interrupted, bye-bye reset progress. But this is good. Getting a survivor injured, it's getting more pressure on the board here for our killer. They do get the pull. We get some body blocks here onto Julian. Julian trying to get somewhere, but their endurance is going to be running out momentarily, about 5 more seconds. The endurance should be gone here, but they should make Shack. They do. We get the recloak. We get the break. And we are into chase once again here. Going towards that 5 area. We do have a generator here. Oh, and we have a friend looping with friends right now. Francesco taking it down for Julian. A thing to note is that we have not used the pain res just yet, as they tripled the first generator. As for tripling the first generator, right, it lowers it down to, I believe, without any gen speeds, like 42 seconds instead. And doubling is, I think, 52. So the third survivor removes 10 seconds off of that gen. I think in that situation, it actually paid off because that means Pain Res actually didn't hit that gen that they wanted. Very, very clearly done. But the downside is you don't have any gen pressure elsewhere on the map after that gen finishes, which can be detrimental going into that mid game. Oh my, we do spot a survivor tag Manu here on Renato. And we do spot a very high prog gen that we are going to kick. We are going to pit Eruption. We are going to put Dragon's Grip. A thing to note is, once again, we still have 4 Pain Res charges. Not claiming that Pain Res on King Julian just yet. 3 gens remaining, and I mean, it's still looking good here. Like, we have a slug, we have 2 injures. One of the injures is a Death Hook survivor. And we currently see our healthy survivor here. Will we get the tag? I think we will. And now we have 4 injured survivors, 3 generators remaining. Not gonna lie, right now, I could see, like, yeah, okay, we're committing cracks here, fair enough. But if Julian died right now, right, this would be devastating. And yeah, very fair commit here, as the pallet by Water Tower is gone, meaning that this area is kind of a dead zone here for our survivors. We get the down. Will we get a pain res? First pain res of the game. The pain res hooks are not the best RNG for a pain res, but Yumiko is going to carry our survivor to the pain res at 7, all the way from 5. Will we make it? I think we'll make it right at the end. I think we're gonna have like 8 grunts here, 8 out of 10. Yep, we do get the pain res, we which is very, very important here to slow down the game. And Wraith loves to slow down the game here. This, Wraiths often play very heavy into that hit and run. Oh, we do hear our survivors resetting at 11. Oh my. Hello, Manu. Hello, Julian. Julian running away here, trying to make it towards 9. Unfortunately, will be taking a tag as there's no pallet here spawning at 10. However, they do have this front and main pallet to work with. They do get the drop. Will we get the down? Oh, they win the 50. Well played, Julian. But they need to extend this chase for as long as possible. If we go into the 1v3 with 2 injured survivors against Wraith, it's going to be a bit scary. Oh, Cracks here to take it down. Will we take it? Yeah, we're going to have to swing. Cracks takes the down. Julian runs off, getting extra distance with that hit take from Lara. We're going to opt to slug Lara here and continue to chase Julian. That pallet is gone. Julian's running out of resources and they go down. Will we see another survivor? Oh no, we do see Francesco here. We're gonna get the kick and we're gonna leave it. We're gonna go pick Julian. Will we see a Dragon's Grip down? It'll be devastating if we like fake pick, he touches it, and then we like down him. Oh, he touches it. Dragon's Grip is in play. We're gonna drag Julian to the hook. We're going to immediately go into chase and possibly, will we see Dragon's Grip value? This is looking fairly solid here for our killer. Tunnel out, 3 generators remaining, though there is a bit of gen prog on the board. Oh, we catch another slug. Ooh, another injured survivor and another slug survivor. We're gonna pick Manu. We're gonna hook Manu onto this pain res. Francesco does pick Lara up. Cracks recovered here. Will our survivors manage to recover their position? Against Wraith in a 1v3, going into it with 2 injured survivors, well, in this case, 1 injured and 1 slug survivor is not ideal. Especially at 3 generators left. And the 1v3, Wraith really likes the 1v3 as he could slow the game down so much with his hit and run. Very big hit here. Now 2 injured and 1 hooked survivor. It's looking very good here for Yumiko. This might be a 4k3 for 4k2. There is a world where it's a 4k1, but it's going to require maybe some errors from Yumiko's part and some very crazy plays from our survivors. It's looking like we are not committing to chasing there, and we are going to go back to the hook to make sure they don't get that reset. Will we get the down? We do get the down on Cracks, as this pallet here by 1 is not the safest. We do see the survivor on the generator here. This is danger. Our survivors are now pretty much just playing injured. I don't see a world where we can get the reset happening. There's just too much pressure from our killer on the board. Oh, not quite! As Yumiko lunges, Manu barely makes it over that pallet. Oh my. Will we do it again? We get into Bloodlust 1, but oh, Manu losing the 50 gets it. We get the gen finished, and that's 2 gens remaining. We're gonna opt to pick instead of going for the 3 slug. Okay, we are now hooking our survivor. Our gen popped at like 7, right? So our survivor is going to be around this outback area, and if Yumiko can catch the rotate, it's gonna be very good here for our killer. They can end the game pretty much then and there. If we spot Francesco, it's all up to them. We see the scratch marks, we see the rotate, and I think we will be entering the final chase of our game. Ooh, big lunge, but not quite connecting onto our survivor, instead hitting some logs. Will we see a down? Yes, we'll be seeing a down here, and that will be a 4k2 for our lovely killer on 0Practice. Yumiko once again showing us just how strong their fundamentals are on Wraith. Oh my, crazy macro, crazy chases by Yumiko, well played. Despite the best efforts of our Archon survivors, it is a 4k2. Very strong result for our 0Practice killer. This puts the win condition for Archon's Wraith at a 4k3 and a tie condition of a 4k2. It's not gonna lie, I will be honest, it's looking potentially very difficult here. And yeah, I don't know. We've seen Wraith 4K before, so there is a world where it's possible, but like I said, it's going to be difficult. So we're going to have to wait and see how it goes. We'll get that lobby sorted for you guys, and I will be right back. Hello and welcome back to Blood Rush League lower bracket round 6. Here we have Archon versus 0Practice, and we have our wonderful second game of our third set, our tiebreaker with Wraith and Dead Dog Saloon. We are on Manu here playing for Archon and our 0Practice survivors of Tritrick, Goodcon, Kirzip, and Aksai. Very, 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 very excited to see how they do. However, Manu's win condition is a 4K3, a tie condition of 4K2. So it is going to be an uphill battle. As a 4K3 on Wraith and Dead Dog Saloon with this balancing can be a bit difficult. So our killer here needs to lock in and get this and get some early pressure here if they want to get that 4K3. And I mean, like Manu, obviously we've seen Manu before. They are a very strong player, so I'm excited to see how they're going to do. Gonna go enter chase here. We can see generators being pumped in the background. A thing to note is like in that previous game, our survivors tripled that first generator. I'm just curious. I'm just wondering, like perhaps they would have gotten, they would have entered that 1v3 that they entered with less generators if they maybe split the generators more instead of like tripling that first generator. We do have a double here, I believe, in the 7 o'clock area. A very good tag there. Oh my, Manu with this uncloaked Wraith lunges are on point here. Will we see a down? It's a bit of a dead zone here for Tritrick. I don't think there's anywhere for them to make, and we do get the down. Very well played. We have a generator popping in the background. As for our build, we are running Pain Rest, Erupt, Corrupt, very standard stuff, and we have Sloppy Butcher here with Uncloak Speed and Break Speed. Very typical Wraith setup. Though sometimes we've seen the Corrupt intervention drop for a different perk, like perhaps Pop Goes the Weasel, perhaps Dragon's Grip, perhaps Ruin. It's all very, very exciting to see sometimes that Corrupt is not taken here, as it is a smaller map and Wraith can get around quite easily, right? So, especially on these smaller maps. We do get the... Cures up with a head-on, very well played. And we are going to enter chase here. Cures up hitting that head-on, buying an extra time for our survivor here, Tritrick, who is currently attempting to be tunneled out by Manu. They get the vault, and they will make it towards the middle of the map. Oh, what a blow. I just want to say, Kirzub's doing such a phenomenal job of buying their tunnel out more time. Tritic getting a head-on, getting a hit take. Oh my. However, that does put 3 injured survivors against Wraith with Sloppy Butcher in play. A gen finishes, 3 gens remaining. We are at our win condition. It is a tough win condition here for our killer. That was a diabolical hit through that pallet stun. We're going to get the pick. We're going to get the hook. But is it enough here? As we do have a lot of gen pressure on board. It is good to hook here because it is next to an active gen. Pain Rest has already been used, so we're not going to be able to Pain Rest here. A gen does stop, putting us at our tie condition. However, we are at our tie condition with the tunnel out still needing to happen as they're still on the hook. So assuming they're able to pull this person from the hook, there is going to be one whole extra chase here. And if Kirzep just runs interference like that last time with that head-on, that hit take, I think they'll be in such a good spot to possibly get one more gen done for that win condition. Oh my, getting a hit there. We have 3 injured survivors at the moment. And it's looking scary here potentially. Like no one can pull at the moment. They have to kind of get the reset going, but they do punish Manu here for being playing too far away from the hook. With I believe Axai here pulling. Will oh I was gonna say I was holding my breath there. Will Manu win that 50? And they do get a very good lunge onto good cover. We're gonna up the slug here as we need to go honestly turn this into a 1v3. We hear Tari here, Kirzep on Tari. They might try to attempt a head-on again. However, they are injured, which makes it slightly more dangerous, and it means that if they do take a hit take, they will be going down. We're gonna go path towards the slug, path towards our Jen, looking for our survivor. It's very, very clear that Manu wants to find Trichik. They get Khan up off the ground. And we are in a 4 injured survivor. We do spot absolutely here on Quan, but not quite committing that chase as they do manage those window vaults safely. They did get the reset here on Kirzep, so Kirzep once again can be a menace with those hit takes and head-ons. And Tree Trick is nowhere to be found. Exceptional stealthing here from our survivors, by the way. I wouldn't be surprised if Manu tries to take a pain rest at this point. It's really scary because our survivors could just be like, where has Tree Trick been? We've looked at our gens. They could be like stealthing right now, touching gens while it's safe. All the survivors really need to do is constantly like keep comms of where Wraith is and where they're going. Checking Gallows, nothing so far. We know that Quan was around main, and we just don't know where Claude is. Any means necessary? Oh my, but we do interrupt that pick. I wouldn't be surprised if at this point Kirzep does reset that pallet. We're gonna get the vault there. And we're gonna enter chase. We do have a pallet here. Will we see Manu get the down once again onto Good Khan? And at this point, I'd be scared. Like main Gallows, something could be like they actually and Chichik could be doubling something, and Jan does pop, and that does mean that the set goes to 0Practice, giving them a 2-1, which means they take the match here and move on in our lower bracket to round 7. Unfortunately, this does mean Archon will be eliminated, but they have played exceptionally well this season, and I can't wait to see more of them. And I do hope to see more of them, especially if they come back next season. We'll love to have them here. Such amazing players, very, very strong. Very strong players on both teams. What a lunge. Kirzap reading that perfectly, barely avoiding Wraith's swing there. Oh my. But at this point, right, like, it's so game changing that Tree Trick managed to hard stealth for this long, right? They get the stealth, they get the reset too. Such very well played here by our survivors. Just absolutely well played. They handled that tunnel out phenomenally with Kirzep here. Honestly, I think Kirzep's head on there and hit take was potentially like set winning, which yeah. Followed by the Tree Trick able to stuff once again. Kirzep once again with the head on here. Tori slamming Wraith with that locker door, putting them into us. I believe that was a long stand because they were cloaked. It looks like we are just gonna go commit someone else here. We're in chase with Khan here. Khan play that window once again. They opt not to vault. Very good check spotting there from Khan. Oh, they did any means this ballot. Manu here regretting not breaking it, possibly. However, yeah, this is a decent window vault here. There's a bit of false dagger, but they do make it to this other window. Well played. Oh, they don't fall. They're so patient. And we have once again Kirzep here being an absolute menace. Well, my gosh. So we're just going to go transfer our Bloodlust, go chase Kirzep, get the tag. 2 injured survivors, 2 healthy survivors. And I believe that last gen is very close to finishing. Kirzep's playing this so well, by the way. Like, I think MVP of the Wraith set is definitely Kirzep. They have played this so well, and they don't get hit. Their last gen pops. Go, Kirzep, go. Will Manu connect a hit for a down? Oh, tragedy. Kirzep is hit through the pallet stud. You hate to see it. However, this means that we have down and picked our... Oh, they will finish that gate, I think. Oh, not quite. One hit and we're off? No! Disaster! No! This is... Oh, good con there, taking a hit for their friend. But unfortunately, they will be left and sacrificed here. Two more stages for Archon, as that will give a result of 6 stage 3 fresh, assuming Trick leaves. That does give the set and the match to our team of 0Practice. Very, such a wonderful games here from both teams. Excellent plays from the Blight to the Unknown to the Wraith. Ah, what a close game. What a close match. But that will be it for today. Thank you all for being here. I hope you guys had fun. I really enjoyed it, especially that we had an unknown game. I love that killer so much. But I'm Mao. Thank you all for being here. If you want to keep in touch with everything Blood Rush League, please check out our Discord channel. You could go see our match schedules of upcoming matches there, so you could make sure to tune in to our Twitch, which you should follow if you want notifications of when we go live, so you never miss matches from your favorite teams. And if you do unfortunately miss a match from your favorite team, or the match was done offline, it will be found on our lovely YouTube channel, Blood Rush League. You can check all of this season's matches and all of a good majority, if not all of the previous season's matches too. So if you guys are itching for more Dead by Daylight competitive content, please check that out. But thank you all for being here. I hope you all had a wonderful time and enjoyed the match just as much as I did. Have a wonderful rest of the day or night, wherever you are in the world, and I'll see you all next time. Bye!